Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the war zone. I have to put at the beginning, unfortunately, due to my chain smoking and the super chat money not showing up 6 weeks later, my bank account is negative, which should balance out on the 22nd. But if you want to send me beer or whiskey money, PayPal is the best way to do it over the next 7 days. And yeah, dude, honestly, I would be drinking AFRN right now if I could. If you want to judge me, that's fine. I am your planetary defense commander. It is June 16th, 616, 2020. And this report, rally caps on. So in the last 24 hours, we've had a Air Force jet crash into the ocean with a pilot dying. Now, South Korea blew up an inter-Korean agency, blew it up at the South-North Korea border. You had 3 rockets hit Baghdad, which I would guess is an attack from Iran in Iraq against America. And then 3 Indian, which means India, soldiers just got killed, I think by China, at the China border in a skirmish. So in a period of 24 hours, you had whoever, I don't know, the Air Force is having problems with the jets lately, and I would guess those problems were related to software issues, which I would guess would be related to hackers. You'd have to be some pretty high-level hackers to take down Air Force jets. And so I've been trying to tell people that, America-Russia relations don't seem to be that great right now. That, I don't know, I don't think Putin and Trump are happy with each other. And of course, North Korea and South Korea have had pretty rocky relations for a long time. And usually India, is it Pakistan? They usually hate each other. So having some type of India-China battle today is peculiar, to say the least. And so I'm wearing the shirt that says all I do is win, with an ironic bent, if I'm allowed to do that. I did a video a couple days back called Beer and War, because it was a Dear Diary version, because I was trying to tell everybody that on June 26th, is it, to 27th, the planet Mars goes into its home sign of Aries, and Aries is the god of war. And because the astrology for 2020 is super through the roof anomalous, Mars is going to be in Aries for 6 months, bro. So the flavor and the tone and the vibe of the next 6 months is going to be war. You know what I'm saying? And it just fucking blows my mind that we had the plague show up. You can have your own goddamn opinion if you don't believe it, but it showed up and the world collectively dealt with it, other than New Zealand, in the worst ways possible. They're we'll just do all the old ways to deal with what's happening now. And so the plague has only caused tensions to rise between all nations. Now, I'm not giving up hope, because I'm probably never going to give up hope to the very last minute. But I woke up today after sleeping for 8 hours and was just exhausted. A, because 2020 has been no fun. And B, just because it seems like we seem to keep making the worst decisions possible. And so, I got my planetary defense commander hat on. It's dirty. I know. Can my camera pick it up that it's dirty? It's totally dirty. I should put it in a washer, but I don't have a washer. So if you're just joining us, the recap is that China has killed 3 India soldiers on the border of China-India. We lost a jet into the ocean with a pilot down, an Air Force pilot. North Korea just blew up an inter-Korean office at the South North Korea border, and bombs fell in Baghdad at pretty much the same time. And at the top of this, our president saying, you know who the real enemy is? The press, the media. And so it's like we got wars on every single front. And I know I'm not the only guy who's like, hey, y'all, we need to work together as one Earth team because we're all family. But I seem to be the only guy on YouTube who keeps pushing for peaceful resolutions to all these problems. I don't know. And so technically, now that I've given you all the information, including I've been dreading the last 6 months of 2020 all year. And now we're almost here. And then on the 17th, Mercury, which is like a day, Mercury goes retrograde, which means communication issues. Oh, yeah. And so I've showed you guys my jacked up phone I still use, right? Anywho, my boy Apollo called me today, which is rare. Anywho, but when I went to call him back, I was like, we're sorry, your Verizon phone is not working. And so there was a report that all major 4 carriers went down. Only T-Mobile admitted to, I don't know whether it was a DDoS attack or what happened. So we don't know if it was it T-Mobile said that they went to reconfigure their network and then it all went haywire, but then somebody said it was actually a DDoS attack. And so you can add that on top of the war zone, yeehaw, here we go. And, I've been saying, and so last night, I was like, hey guys, the Dow Jones futures are down 800 points. I think this is going to be a negative 1,000-point day. I was wrong. Totally wrong. I think the markets ended up in the green. But guess what? 12 hours later, Japan said, hey, we're going to pump $1 trillion worth of money with our printing press into the markets. And so that would explain why the markets across the globe stopped crashing. Because Japan was like, hey guys, we got this. It's our turn to devalue the currency. So we're going to pump. We can't let markets go down. So we're going to pump $1 trillion or whatever their value, into the markets. And so markets were like, yeah. And then this morning markets are like, yeah, great. More printed money, which is actually just devaluing the money that already exists. And that's why they're like, buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin will solve all your problems. Well, Bitcoin is not hyperinflation proof, and Bitcoin is not World War III proof. Although, it definitely, if the world stabilizes, Bitcoin is a decent investment. I would probably get it closer to 4,000 to 6,000 than 9,000. Hey, it's your money. Remember, I'm the guy who always asks for donations. I don't actually do any investing because I don't ever have a whole lot of money. Although if I did, what would that be like? I think my set design would be better. Probably. And my teeth wouldn't be as yellow. I'd even get some fake ass teeth put in. Anywho, not really worried about that right now because I believe in free will. And we're hanging on by such a thin thread right now. And honestly, I feel like I have done my best. Though at times I've gotten angry, I've talked shit, no doubt. I have made some mistakes, but man, I've given it my all, especially for the last 7.5 years. Trying to avoid World War III, trying to prepare for things like the plague, trying to get, I don't know, man. So we are in the war zone now. And then like Neptune goes retrograde. And we won't get any help. Venus goes direct on the 25th, I believe. I don't know. And so right now, the chips are stacked against us. We're in a nadir. So smoke them if you got them. How are y'all doing today? And I want to reiterate, and I don't mean this super creepy or cryptic, but like, dude, if shit is just going to get worse, I am not scared to die today. Do I want to die today? No. Because I think things will eventually get better. But if we are just slowly sliding downhill and things are only going to get worse forever, then I don't want to be around for that fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not my game. That's why I trust in God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit so much that I don't fear death. You know? But good morning. The lone survivor said most survive. I didn't see the context, but I'm saying if you had an actual World War III, everybody would die. The last time we saw any weapons of technology were in, 42? And so they've had 80 years to improve on the atom bomb and the hydrogen bomb. And so I know for a fact, they definitely have shit that could destroy the planet a zillion times over. And so if you actually had China go to war with America, or America go to war with Russia, or even India, or Israel, like... a lot of countries have the power to blow each other off the fucking map. Like, they can poison the well forever. It's part of the reason I do what I do. Because you've got multiple, not even countries, but you have corporations, you have groups who have the ability to destroy civilization if they so choose. And so, to me, the logical explanation has always been to work together. Because we are past the point where you can just have conflicts in Vietnam, or you can have conflicts in Iraq, or, that like, the plague changed everything, dude. And it made everybody really short-fused and ill-tempered. And so, I've stated before that, like, my job is to prevent the collapse of everything. That if it all collapses, I don't really want to stick around. I'll go down with the ship if it collapses. Cool with that. I don't know. So this is me giving you a giant hug. Yes, put on the... I have not prayed today. And I try to put on the full armor of God. I admit, I'm kind of worn down. Because look, I'm a Sagittarius. So that means I am naturally optimistic. And everybody else who's not a Sagittarius is not naturally optimistic. So I feel like for 20 years, I've been listening to everybody tell me that the world is going to end, or we're all going to die, or tribulation, or like I've just been having everybody say everything's just going to get worse. So that people took a lot of time and energy just to tell everybody else that everything is going to get worse. And I haven't got a lot of good sleep in 2020. So I'm frustrated. I'm super frustrated. And it's a day where I lost, as planetary defense commander, we lost people in the Indian Army. We lost an Air Force pilot. We lost Koreans. COVID. It's not exactly a banner day. And then I feel shit would be much worse if I wasn't around. So that helps keep me sane. And it helps keep me on the job. I would definitely be drinking beer or whiskey if I had it right now. And I get that a lot of people don't care, not a lot, but you know, I don't know, I keep thinking of it like in a left-right fashion, that there's like 20% of the right who are just like super crazed, whatever it takes for Trump to win. There's 20% of the left who's super crazed, whatever it takes for Trump to lose. But the 60% in the middle, those seem to be pretty logical Americans whose opinions vary on things. But it's usually the radicals who screw everything up. Like today, did you guys see in New Mexico they were trying to tear? I don't know. It's just absurd. Like it's all. How come nobody's going after Albert Pike's statue yet? That's what I keep wondering. That like out of all the statues you could take down, the like dude who predicted World War I, World War II, and predicted that the Luciferians would win and take over everything. Why is his statue still up? And it's still up. Anywho, and I'm super pro putting up Dolly Parton statues. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So they were like a bunch of kids, and so it was all 20-year-olds tearing down the statue of, I think the guy's name was Luis or Ortega, Spanish guy. So trying to tear down some Spanish guy's statue in New Mexico, and then a group of like the New Mexico Civil Service guys, like some ragtag bunch of we protect statues. They shot, and it's not funny, but I get like I've gone insane. And so they shot one of the people trying to tear down the statue, and it's just so absurd. Like everything is just so fucking absurd these days. And then Britain's starting to wake up. And so like all the British people are fighting about, I don't know, somebody said something really dumb. Oh, because in Britain it's like, we shouldn't be shutting off people's water. And then like somebody said something like, well, it's impossible to disconnect their water pipes or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, they could turn off your water. I don't know. It's just, we're not that good at communicating anymore. It's amazing how 20 years of higher education and digital capabilities has destroyed our ability to intercommunicate as human beings. And now it's a Beastie Boys song, ill communication. So I guess I'm here telling you, like, yeah, the war zone of the next 6 months is officially started. But I've always said that if you want to fix all these problems, including homelessness, racism, pretty much all the problems that persist in society, you gotta end all the wars. Like you can't fix shit until you end all the wars, because all the wars are based on bullshit. All of them. And I made an excellent point yesterday when I said that like you had 30 million Native Americans in South, Central, and North America when Columbus and his ilk came over, and then they killed 29 million people, and then they replaced them with slaves from Africa. So and how I look at it is the Spanish Inquisition transferred from England or from Europe. They literally transferred it to America. So it never ended. We're still in a version of the Spanish Inquisition. That's why we have for-profit prisons and shit like that. And that's why we have like, and now you had the whole thing where, you know how like they would judge people in the town square, where like, it was like the biggest accusations won. And so they would, just like Jesus, they had giant crowds that showed up to watch Jesus get stabbed and crucified. And they spit on him and they cheered as he died. And so we're in a real weird state of that, where like on social networking, we're nailing people to crosses metaphorically every single day without any due process. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird time, man. So we're in the war zone has started. If you're just joining us, the recap is that we've lost an Air Force pilot, as the plane crashed today in the ocean. And 3 days ago, we intercepted 4 Russian bombers 6 miles off the Alaskan coast. The Royal, I guess, European Air Force intercepted some Russian bombers off there the day after. Like that, China and India got into a skirmish on their border today. 3 Indian soldiers died. North Korea just blew up the Inter-Korean office. Rockets fell in Baghdad. And somebody DDoS attacked all 4 phone networks today. And on the 27th, Mars goes into Aries for 6 months. So, whether it be diluted or not, I still think, I hope we're going to make it. I pray we're going to make it, but it takes teamwork, man. And technically, America is a defender and protector of South Korea. And so this isn't just a war that South Korea will be fighting. This will be a war that our president's fighting. And so, he's blamed China for the plague. He's blamed the FBI for a bunch of shit. He did it the other day. He blamed the Federal Reserve for being horrible. And then now, now we'll be dealing with North Korea. And that he was elected as a deal maker. And so we need some deals. And it would be great to get 2017 Trump back to where he was talking about peace with North Korea. He was talking about peace with Russia. Talking about peace with Saudi Arabia. We were talking about peace in 2017. What the hell happened, man? What went wrong? Yeah, I don't know. All right. I shall now refer to everybody's wonderful comments. Maybe life is a test. Oh, life is definitely a test. And I don't know if you guys saw the edited video I reposted that I made in 2016, where it's like, I feel like I'm being tested on every layer, every level, every day. So it's been at least like 4 years of tests, and civilization hasn't collapsed. And the grid hasn't gone down. So I think I'm doing at least a C minus. Oh, sing for us. I will in a little bit. Life is a test of character. And honestly, I like my character. And you guys may like my character too. So I don't have any complaints about, although I'm way overweight, this 2 years of lockdown for me has not been good for, I could be handsomer for sure. And I could be in better shape. B plus. Hey, I'll take it. Those who say peace, all of a sudden destruction falls over them. Well, like I said, if it's just gonna be war, then hey man, let's just get it fucking over with. Boom, World War III, everybody's dead. Let's go home. Let's try again. Because I don't know. The main themes of 2020 have been plague, greed, blame, and complaining. So it's like a nihilist's paradise. They're like, hey, we've taken away all the really good, enjoyable stuff, and now we just have the crappy stuff left. Yay, nihilists forever. I don't know. And there's a segment of the world that wants a race war. There's a segment of the world that wants society to collapse. That is not me. That will never be me. I'm sorry, my parents were awesome. My friends were awesome. And though we didn't work out romantically, all 16 girlfriends I've ever had and all of the 100 women I kissed were awesome. So there are a lot of good things in this world. There's a lot of good, like C.S. Lewis said, or Tolkien. There is still good that exists in the world And that is worth fighting for. The war is dumb. It's really dumb. I think most of us know the war, at least over the last 140 years, has mainly been about profit and economy. And so we have been living under semi-peaceful conditions under the guise of nonstop war. And just remember how much the world has changed since 9/11. It's always darkest before the dawn. And sure, yeah, it may look kind of bleak, but I'm still here, you're still here. It's not game over. But it would be nice to get some victories for the people. Oh, and that was another whole point. That so we have the 3-act structure of the eclipses. Like if I am a huge believer in that the eclipse seasons. I need to get lights in my goddamn eyes. They're beautiful. That we have an eclipse on June 5th. It was lunar. Then we have a solar eclipse. Then we have another lunar eclipse. And so the solar eclipse on the 21st, which is less than a week away, I've mentioned through the wisdom of Astrological that like this one is going to be about the powers, the rich people, and so as like now we're seeing 5 days before the eclipse, we're seeing that wars breaking out amongst the powers. So this isn't even about the people anymore. It's now about those in power. And they have not, in my opinion, they've not handled the plague well at all. It was like we elected all these people because they were good at the old system, and that when the plague showed up, none of them were built to adapt to a plague. And someone was saying today to me that like China's to blame for the plague, and that Democrats are to blame for the protests and all the riots. And that so the only reason that shit is like it is now is because of China and the Democrats. And so in my mind, that would mean that Trump got outplayed in this 7-layer game of chess. Like, I don't know. I know people get upset when I say that I don't think he's done a good job, but things are really unstable. And so if you've been the top dude in power for 3.5 years, and at the end of those 3.5 years, shit is so fucking shaky, you just can't come up with excuses like, well, China fucked me up, and the Democrats fucked me up, and the deep state fucked me up, and then everybody outsmarted me. So vote for me in the next election, and hopefully life will be fair. You know? It's like, we need somebody who gives us something better than excuses. And that clearly the Illuminati are not totally fucking unified. Like I've been saying for years, that you have wars within wars, schisms within schisms, fights within fights. Like there's not a whole lot of unity right now. You had Elon Musk say that the government should step in and break up Amazon. And so I guess, so we are going to need some type of unifying factor. What do I do with my damn cigarettes? Okay. Another piece of artwork here. Okay, so I think here it says, oh man. This frame says, it's hard to get stoned when everybody is crazy. And then it says, Step it up. The time is now. And then here, Mason says, it's hard to get stoned when everyone keeps fucking up my buzz. And then down here, Grasshopper says, we can make it out of this if you emotion bots would stop standing around and complaining. And these are supposed to represent planets. The other planets. Anyway, I thought that one was pretty good. That's self-portrait. Clearly, I was much better looking a couple years ago. All right, one moment, please. What the hell? How's that impossible? All right, whatever. One moment. Okay, does anybody have any wonderful comments? If not, wait, how about this? Oh yeah, so I'll play some guitar in a little bit. Well, we've entered the war zone. I'm gonna recap it one more time. Air Force jet crashed in the ocean, pilot died. Apparently a DDoS attack took down T-Mobile and possibly 3 other networks for a while today. North Korea blew up the Inter-Korean agency hours ago. China killed 3 Indian soldiers at their border. Rockets hit Baghdad. I feel like I'm missing something. And we have Mars going into Aries for 6 months on the 27th. And then you got Mercury going retrograde on the 17th, Neptune going retrograde soon after. And so I definitely think the next month between now and the 4th of July is going to... Oh yeah, and the solar eclipse, the annular, the Ring of Fire eclipse, happening on the 21st. And models are now showing a hurricane below the Yucatan Peninsula, which would be in the Pacific on the 26th. And so I have everybody on a full alert just to watch. If we are going to get some type of crazy storm, it would probably happen about 5 days after the eclipse. Although it usually takes models a couple days to pick it up because models are not always great around eclipses, especially around solar eclipses where the amazing process of the sun and the moon, that when the moon blocks out the sunlight, that cools our atmosphere, even if for like 10 minutes or 2 hours, it makes a difference and it disrupts the process. LOL. Love only lives. You know what I'm saying? Oh. Hey. And so yeah, I talked for 2 hours and 45 minutes yesterday. And so I wasn't planning on talking today. But then shit just got unhooked. And so I thought I would join y'all. Hey, hey. God wants you on the court, confident that God loves all of his children. Each day, each moment in itself an eternity. So if I ever got a decent single line, the top says no good thing ever dies, I would write it down in the front of the book. Got a lot of these. Let me love you. Man, I sure want to dance before the world ends, though. Oh, this is one of my favorites. You've probably seen it because I've linked it. It's where here's our hero, and he's totally surrounded by bad guys. And they're overconfident because he is unarmed. I should start drawing again. I don't know what this means, but it just says black diamond heart. Would you want to date a woman that had a black diamond heart? I wouldn't. Oh, our hero looks pissed. It seems like he's always fighting pyramids. Why is he always fighting pyramids? Questions to ponder. Oh yeah, so I'm definitely gonna, just letting you know, I think I'm gonna start to write a Western. Does that sound good? Oh, here's another one. Here, it just says, we shall see. Ooh. We shall see. There's this girl up there. We shall see. Okay. So, now I will take questions. What? I can't ever... What do I do with my glasses? Oh, crap. Well, I'll use these. Hello. Crap, they don't help. Found them. Okay. Thor is for winners, and that is why you're here. Yeah, send them over. Any new solar activity? Not that I'm aware of. The sunspot is just now turning away from Earth, at least to where we can't see it. But it had several flares, and I enjoyed the boost of the extra energy for sure. It looks like there may be 2 more sunspots on the backside of the sun. But they would be about 10 days away from turning to us. Oh yeah, Yellowstone. But Yellowstone is a worry, like, dude, if the Yellowstone super volcano explodes in the middle of America, you can't really prepare for that, and we would just be done for. And so, you can't really prep. You can't be like, hey man, I've got like tons of stored foods, and I've got $1 million in Bitcoin, and you know, you would need like $1 billion under the world bunker to exist if the super volcano went off in the middle of our country. So that's why I don't talk about Yellowstone that much, because that's just a game over, man. If Yellowstone goes. I've predicted many times that over the next 3 years, especially this year, we could see a volcano eruption on the west coast of the United States, whether it be Washington, Oregon, or California would be my guess. Whittier specifically. I don't want to freak out anyone near or around Whittier, but and so anytime I look at the fires, and when you watch all the fires take off at the same time, it's always hard for me to imagine, like, how do those fires get so synchronized? Oh, Shasta. Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen next? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But I know that I love you. Gidget. Oh, Gidget asked for a refresher. I'll try and one more time. North Korea just blew up South Korea inter-office. 3 soldiers died in a clash with India and China. Baghdad bombs exploded. 3 rockets hit. A U.S. Air Force jet crashed and a pilot died. And it looked like all 4 telephone networks got DDoS attacked today. And I don't know, I've been talking to you guys for 42 minutes. Nobody knows what's happened since then. Oh, and Japan announced they're pumping $1 trillion. They're printing, the Bank of Japan, a central bank, is printing $1 trillion, and they're pumping it into the economies. And so markets are really excited. Because it's almost like markets are sharks. And you got to throw the sharks meat and chum constantly. I guess it is like that show Tiger King. If you want to keep your tigers alive, you got to bring them a bunch of meat. And so who's got all the meat? The central banks. Man, the central bank can print, 10 trillion on their iPhone in 10 seconds if they want to. I'm sure it's not that simple. Okay. Now I got 71 people here, and I'm running out of shit to talk about. Okay, someone says, Chaz, here's the whole thing I tried to... Portland, Oregon is super weird. And that, look, everybody can agree or disagree. It seems like, especially before now, that there were a lot of, like, that's the, like, Asian tours step-off point, in my opinion. Like, you got definitely high-paid mercenaries that run out of there. So I see whatever's, no disrespect to you, Portland, but I see whatever's happening out of Portland. If there were fake news, whatever's come out of Portland is like fakest, fake-ass shit. And I don't mean this to the people. I'm just saying it's always just some weird... That it's almost like a, when they say like Hollywood is made in a space basement, or space is made in a Hollywood basement, and Portland is made in like a divide and conquer basement. That like literally divide and conquer stories always come out of like this crazy shit that shouldn't be happening. Because they're like, Oregon is like peaceful and Democrats are there, but it always has these big, huge, muscled out, well-armed white guys who are angry and yelling and blowing shit up and, marking territories. And a lot of them were the same guys who were saying that Antifa was going to take over in that Alex Jones video I made in 2018. So, Portland, to me, seems like the whole Chaz thing is like a version of Occupy Wall Street. It's just a 2020 version. And I could be totally wrong. I've spent no time in Portland. I've talked to none of those people. Let the day they beat up Andy Ngo. I was like, man. And then when I said, dude, I think all the Portland Antifa guys are actually provocateur, agenteurs, who have right wing leanings, like someone threatened to kill me. It was like, if you keep telling people that, you'll be swimming with the fishes. I was like, all right, dude, let me log that fucking threat with the other 10,000, bro. Now, you'd have to go a long way to get me to actually be swimming with the fishes, I guess. I don't know, and, you know, with Neptune and all the astrology, there is a lot of deception happening. And I still don't know why people think that the trillionaires are either Republican or are either Democrat. I think they're trillionaires. And when you're, remember, my ego makes me think that I'm worth like a quadrillion amount of dollars. So I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I started the Astonishers, started Asteroid Fight Club, started American Bicycle Club. I'm not interested in joining other people's clubs, really, unless your club is super. And so trillionaires are like me, except they have $1 trillion, and I just have what I feel like is $1 trillion worth of talent. And so they're in their own club, and they can use other clubs as like chess pieces. Well, allegiances to the Democrat Party or the Republican Party, and you know, and scale that model out across the world. It seems silly in 2020. Just I don't have faith in any political party right now. Not a single one. Which is weird shit to say. But I'm honest. And it's my opinion from my perspective over the life I've lived. See, Val, you're saying, yep, we are divided. And yeah, we are so divided. The plague should have showed us how divided we are. Whatever you believe, it's just like, here's a situation, how do we handle it? And whatever the situation is, like even the North Korea, South Korea thing, or the China, India thing, or I mean, like nobody in America seemed to even care that we've had 3 Air Force plane crashes in a month. And it's definitely not because those guys are incompetent or those planes aren't being kept up. I'm pretty sure that it's software malfunction. Which always has me asking, like, do you have a kill switch on the F-35s where you can just shut the computer off completely and fly manually? Do you have that in your F-16s? You're like, I know it would be expensive to do that, but shit, at the end of the day, I do not think America has the best hackers in the world. And that, you know, the data kings have like any code can be broken. I totally believe that, whether it be your phone, you know, if it's connected, it can be broken. This code was made to be broken. That's why like antivirus software has been like one of the biggest scams ever, in my opinion. Because it doesn't matter what antivirus you have, if you have a good hacker, he can get through. Or she. I think that the best hackers in the world might be female, but they've been real good about keeping that a secret. And I don't think hackers are totally aligned to countries. They are by wallet, but I'm saying that I don't think hackers are always aligned with countries. Hackers are like me talking about the thing about you start your own group. Like if you have the power to start your own group, you do it. Because the groups we have to choose from now are pretty dang inadequate. And are from like 200 years ago or 100 years ago. And so a lot of the problems were not thought out well then as we apply them now. Okay? But I would really like to turn it around. And if you've got even let's dial it back to, let's say it's 1780 or whatever. And everybody's got nothing but AR, nobody's got bombs and shit. Everybody's just got like AR-15s. But everybody's got one in every country. And so you got it's like a big risk game right now. And so if you just convince everybody not to shoot and kill everybody and figure out how to give everyone the very basics, I think good times would follow. And I think that would make you a hero for the next 1,000 years. If you were part of what became the solution and led us on the bridge to the way of a better living world here on Earth, then you are a total hero in my book. Not only for today, but throughout the rest of civilization. Who doesn't want that? I know that there are people that don't. But I'm still saying that way seems way better. But I gotta say, the Mayan calculator doom scientist guys say that the world is going to end on the 21st. So my bank account's overdrawn. So if you want to make a PayPal donation, it's the only thing I can use right now. If the world is going to end on the 21st, I'm definitely going to need more beer and more whiskey. And if people want to think that makes me a lesser Christian, if the world is going to end in 6 days, that I will be drinking and smoking on my way out, then I guess only God can judge. And I totally believe that with all of my heart. And I'm a Viking, dude. Like, I'm a Norwegian Viking. So that's like double the drinking, although I'm not an alcoholic. Although I am a smoker. Be your own hero. That is excellent advice. But I've always loved a good team. And that a good team can accomplish way more than one single individual can. And I know there are a lot of really good, great, talented people out there. All right, Noodles, go slay me some dragons. Or no, what we need is a dragon peace officer. Because if you kill dragons, that shit comes back and bites you in the ass. So what we need is a dragon whisperer. Can you do that, Noodles? I know you can. Noodles, you are now my dragon whisperer. And I gotta warn you, Noodles, many of the dragons are some of the most beautiful women you've ever seen. So there's a good chance you're going to get burned, my friend. Oh, dragons are good in bed, though. Okay, 4:44 a.m.? Indeed. Yay. So yeah, dragon whisperers. Start whispering about peace. Yeah, and so once you've been making out with dragon women and goddesses, how do you go back? How do you go backwards? You can't. But by not kissing anyone, I stay out of a lot of trouble. But me staying out of trouble while the rest of the world is doing nothing but getting in trouble, that ain't working either. So if we got 6 days left before the world ends, damn it, I've listed out like the 20 women I would kiss. But every time I say that, like, hey, yeah, show me my doorstep, then some weird dude or some dude shows up on my doorstep like, I need to talk to you about Bitcoin. So I don't want to call that out again. I don't want that to happen. Because if you are not one of the most beautiful women on the world, I'm not letting you in because there's a fucking plague going on. And I don't know what type of behavior you've had in the last month. You know, I don't want you bringing the coronavirus, to me, after I've been so good, it was like I had a thought. Like today, the weirdest thing happened. I opened my front door to check out the sunrise this morning, as I like to do, and this super cute orange striped cat just ran up the steps and ran into my apartment. I was like, what? And then it got in my bathtub. I was like, no! Because I'd only showered like once each month the last 2 months. Because it's a tactic I got from Batman in The Dark Knight Returns. We'll talk about that later. Anywho, so the bottom of my bathtub is covered in all this dirt from my last 2 showers. Because that's just to remind me of how great I am at being Planetary Defense Commander. And so the cat was getting all dirty in my bathtub, and I was like, oh, kitty, don't. Anywho, I had a can of tuna, I opened that up, I got it some water, and then whenever I tried to take a picture of it, it would hiss at me. But if I didn't try to take its picture, I got to pet it. And at one point, I made the cat purr. And then I found out from my neighbor that her and her boyfriend had a big fight, that he stormed out, she slammed the door, and during that time, the cat got out. And so the cat was scared for its life when it first ran into my apartment, but I talked sweet to it. It was a guy cat, but name was Spicy. And I talked real sweet to it, and I was super nice to that cat the whole time. And then like 3 hours later, she came and got her cat. And I had company today. So I took that as a possible good sign. And it was cool. Oh, but so the favorite part, the part that makes me want to get a kitten now, is that, because like I said, most of the time when the cat ran in the house, he was still hiding. You know, we come out a little, was still hiding. Even though it ran in my apartment, it was still like scared of me. And so I was like, all right, I'll put out some tuna and water. And so when I went to open the tuna can, you know, I got like halfway through because my tuna can opener is broken. So I got to like snip it each way all the way around. It's annoying, but it works. So I saw the cat's head come peeking out over the corner of my counter, and it had the biggest eyes, like, you love me? And so that was like a super cute, great meme moment of the day. Just having a scared cat look at me with just love and happiness for that 1 second. It was the cutest look on its face. I was like, shit, if I get a cat, I could probably get that look twice a day. Although, if he had a cat from birth, he would probably never be that scared. And so he probably wouldn't look at me with that much appreciation as that cat did today. Anyway, so that was a weird story. I don't think I've only had one other cat in here, and that was with an ex-girlfriend. Years ago. Crazy days, man. And usually on the days where I'm like, oh, the energy's through the roof, I will be able to hear people fighting, not only in my apartment complex, but around the neighborhood. Somebody's getting in a loud, giant fight. Do you remember those? Have you ever been in one of those relationship fights where not only are you guys arguing, but you are arguing in a public place and the whole neighborhood could hear you? I admit, I've been in a few of those in my lifetime. Oh, and I must miss him right now. That's weird. All right, so yeah, Warzone 2020. And it's 616 day. When I was at North Texas doing a paper on the Parousia, which is the second coming of Christ, I checked out all these books. And so I would check out all the King James Bibles and all the versions of all the Bibles I could find. But I tried to check out the earliest dates, like the oldest books. I found a bunch of them. And some of them had the number of 666 listed as 616. So I think there was one Bible I found from 1546, and that was the oldest Bible I could find, and it had it listed as 616. So that's why when people are like, 666 is the evil number. I'm like, dude, I'm not even sure about that. I'm not sure. That may not be the actual evil number. There are a lot of, I don't know. It's funny because people are always it seems like a lot of people are very convinced about their beliefs. And that Noodles may or may not be able to understand. As a screenwriter, it's like you have multiple possibilities open at any one time of what could happen or what is going to happen or what happened. That, like, rarely is shit set in stone concrete with all the lines drawn out. And I guess in a quantum way, you could say both 616 and 666 are the number of the beast. I don't even know. But I've discussed this many times. Then people get fixated on the mark of the beast. It's always something. There's always a new mark of the beast. It's like, hey man, we've got new and improved mark of the beast. It's coming out in the vaccines. Were you tired of the mark of the beast that you had from the WWW? Were you tired of the mark of the beast that you had from the barcode? Were you tired of the mark of the beast you had from the dollar bill with the pyramid on it? Well, don't worry. We've got a new and improved mark of the beast for you. It is the vaccine. And then it's like, no, wait. And if you buy the mark of the beast vaccine, we will give you the 5G bonus. Making sure that with your new improved mark of the beast, you always have the worst nightmares ever. That's why I like having a sense of humor and still being a screenwriter. To me, that's funny. So like every time I see someone on YouTube on my subscriptions page coming up with a new, watch, here comes the mark of the beast. I'm like, oh, here we go again. And in the Bible, it always made it sound like you had a choice. Where it's like, you can be shunned from the world, but not accept it. Or you can take the mark of the beast and then you can buy whatever you want and you get to party your days out. Choose. So that's how I've always read the mark of the beast. That like, at some point, you at least get to make a choice. Like, do I want this motherfucking thing or not? Do I want to lose my soul but have some good times? Or do I want to say no and then be like tortured for the rest of my life until I die? Then I get to go to heaven and get the good times. You know? I don't know. I feel 1,000 years old, so I haven't sold my soul yet. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. And I think that's why I've waited to choose I've been so careful about choosing my wife. Because that is it's like, there's a whole thing, there's a level of like, the devil offers to buy your soul. And then it's like, the spouse you choose. There's like two giant commitments that you got to take seriously. And either way, you get a choice. You get a choice of who you want to pick to be with for the rest of your life. Hello. It is good to see you. I am so glad you're here with me. And I'm in this dreamland of like hanging out with people where it sounds very romantic. Just even hanging out with friends or romantic interests. And that like I can be a good hangout guy where like I can sit in the same room with you, and if I really like you, I can be quiet for hours. We ain't gotta talk, but if you are one of the people I really like, I feel better that we're in the same room together. Anywho, someday, it's not gonna be solar minimum forever. A government-backed cryptocurrency will be just as bad as fiat. Yeah, but what about okay? Because okay, like I said, I exist on multiple levels. I'm your planetary defense commander, which means I protect and defend everyone and everything. And then I'm an American. I was born in America. I am an American. And although born in Illinois, Texas has been like the best girlfriend, mother, grandmother. Although my mom and grandmother, I'm saying Texas is not the best, but like Texas has been like family to me. And so the same way people are about Trump now, or some people, I am about Texas. Like I love Texas, man. And so what I'm trying to say is that I have mentioned several times to our governor, not personally, just through tweets and shit, and Mark Cuban and the ghost of Ross Perot, that with everything destabilizing, if Texas was going to, it would be part of that. Like if we were going to make sure that for the rest of 2020 that every Texan got like a $200 a month for food, right? That if you were ever going to roll out a Texas currency, like a Texas cryptocurrency, although yes, yes, cryptos have major deficiencies. Like if Texas rolled out a Texas cryptocurrency, and the part of the basis of that was making sure that over the next rest of the year, every Texan family got food and fed, I would be super pro that, bro. And technically, I guess I'm the guy who suggested it. But nobody's listening to me, you know? It's not like, but I do think that there are laws and issues that sort of forbid states from creating their own currency. Because our Constitution specifically says that the only people on the planet that will print American money is Congress. And so that is how our democracy and our freedom. Wait a second, that's not what happened. Oh no, we gave that shit up even though it's still in the Constitution. Oh, wow. And so technically the only people allowed to print money for America is Congress. But somehow we're like, we'll give that duty to the Federal Reserve. And so like I said, at this point, the Federal Reserve has kept America standing, and the Federal Reserve has not started World War III, and that all central banks have been, if there's one thing I am sure of, it's that every single central bank of every single country on the world has been acting in unison in like an orchestra or a ballet to devalue the currency and work to prevent hyperinflation, to where that they are working together. And that I'm not in the camp that believes that they are inherently evil. All right? Like I said, yes, I've talked to people in person with the Federal Reserve. I've talked to people from the Treasury in person. That I do not get the impression or the auras that these people are inherently evil. Anywho, but if you were going to print money as a state, you would probably need the Fed's permission, the Treasury's permission, and then government permission. And like I said, the only person that actually has permission to print money is Congress. Although that permission got taken away, they just didn't fix that in the Constitution. They didn't change the Constitution. They didn't take that part out. And they still got everybody going, hey man, the Constitution is the basis for all of our laws. I was like, yeah, except for the fiscal and financial ones. And that's why I believe the Constitution has been invalid since 1913. If we're talking just pure beer drinking arguments, although I have no beer right now. So my whole point is that, and it's, so today someone else was talking about how what we need is a civil war, which I am 1,000% against. And so that if somehow the Republicans and Democrats were like, fuck it, we're going to civil war, I would be like, hell yeah, okay, Texas, I vote and gonna move that just like in the other Civil War, we are neutral, and all cool military and first responders are absolutely welcome to move to Texas, and we'll do our best to take care of you with our new cryptocurrency and making sure everybody has a place to stay and everybody's fed with water. And you know what I'm talking about? I don't know. So yeah. And I've discussed before that, let's see, Hollywood controls. I'm just saying that Texas could be its own nation if it really wanted to. And we could be a really great nation. You know, I mean, in my opinion, we're the best state in America for sure. Anyway, I'm not suggesting right now that Texas secede, but I'm saying that fuck yeah, if America decided to go into Charles Manson's civil fucking war in 2020, I would be 100% okay, America, just get the fuck out. I mean, okay, Texas. And I would invite all cool military and cool first responders and cool people to move to Texas. And then the first thing I would do is try and form some type of peace treaty with Mexico, Central America, and all of South America. And then I would try to build that superhighway from Texas all the way down. That'd be cool. And then I wouldn't have to worry about people accusing me of starting some one world government, because it would just be a Texas, Central and South America government. And so that the beast would be nowhere near, and the devil would be nowhere near us. Hell yeah, that sounds badass. That's the screenwriter of me talking. Oh, but like I said, this came from the cryptocurrency. And, you know, we're going to have election problems. Either way, no matter what, we're going to have a zillion fucking problems. And whatever the result is, half of the people are not going to believe it. Half of the people are going to be incredibly unsatisfied this election. More than any football game or any election in history, half of the people, or honestly, my belief right now, it would be 65 to 35. I really think that if you took a full, and I am still neutral. Texas, like I said, I love Texas, man. I leave Texas over Republicans and Democrats. But that if you took a fucking vote now, he would only win 35% of the vote. You know what I'm talking about. He has not been doing good. He has just been calling people fucking names nonstop for 3.5 fucking years. And then he gets on there, he's like, I don't get enough credit. Nobody gives me enough credit. I should get more credit. I'm the greatest president of all time. I should get more credit. And then, like, you're a horrible person. You're a fucking murderer. You're a fucking, like, I believe that, like, right now he would only get, at best, 35% of the overall vote. Like I said, right now, like, Texas is not exactly super happy with him. His, and I've heard it from people around that were either Republicans or in the middle, that he's not doing good, dude. This is not the, like, we gave him 3.5 years to do whatever he does. And that at least Obama had the idea that for the second term, he was going to do Obamacare, though extremely flawed, where he was going to give everybody health insurance, which he did. It just cost $1 zillion. And so Trump doesn't even have a second term plan. Even today, he's like, hey guys, I got an idea for a $1 trillion infrastructure. And that would only fucking, like, that would only fix the potholes and maybe fix a few bridges. That is not a new 2020 vision we were looking for. And one of the reasons that I thought in 2016 and 2017 that Trump might be the man for the job and do an incredible job, because he has been one of the best real estate moguls since the 80s. So if there was someone who was going to build a city from scratch, or totally get a $100 trillion over a 10-year new infrastructure package going, it might be this guy. But no, he was nothing like that. And so to have him go into his next election and say, I've got an idea for a $1 trillion infrastructure package, that is incredibly disappointing on every single fucking level. I, as your planetary defense commander, want to build a highway that runs all the way down to the tip of South America, up through Central America, up through Mexico, up through the United States, up through Canada, in through Alaska, and technically we're connected over to Russia because everybody's getting along. That is the infrastructure project I would like to build on. And I build this with the idea that we will undergo earthquakes and volcanoes over the next 100 years. And so that we would be building our superhighway over and around the safest places in all of these continents. But to do that, you would need the cooperation of everyone in the Americas. But that is a new age infrastructure project that we should be aiming for. And I definitely don't care if people agree with me or not. They're like, you can either continue to fix the potholes in our 1970s roads, or we can start to build city and infrastructure of the future. And just 2 weeks ago, I heard in person from someone from the oil and gas industry. They don't want shit like that. Music Mafia doesn't want shit like that. Like, all the people who are making zillions of crypto dollars and dollars now don't want that shit. Coincidentally, you have China now fighting with India, South Korea fighting with North Korea, Americans fighting with Americans. There were shots fired between Republicans and Democrats today over a statue. And I'm not recommending taking down Albert Pike's statue, but I just think it's curious that if you're going to start ripping statues down, yeah, those are like next level truth community shit. They're like, they're rabbit holes that aren't going to necessarily leave you smiling. The three things that you should do research on if you really want to feel like you have a better grasp of how big everything is: the Albert Pike letters that he wrote in 1888 that describe World War I, World War II, World War III, and then Luciferians taking over. And then all of Jordan Maxwell's stuff, the maritime law stuff, and the like 100 leagues over the earth contract stuff. And then Richard Hoagland's Mars and Earth space agencies. Like, there's your, and every single one of those three, the projects that are dealing with are bigger than Republican, Democrat, or even just America. I don't know. But hey, I feel better. 78 minutes ago when I showed up, talked to you guys, and I don't know, it's just, I'm frustrated. So, like, let me give you an example. I had hackers bust into my laptop, like, I don't know, was it 10 days ago? And I made the mistake of, I then got on here and I yelled at some of the dudes from Grand Solar Minimum and QAnon. And that was a mistake, because when you deal with hackers, you do not know who's doing it. So there is no reason for me to pin that on a specific person, because God's honest truth, I don't know. I don't know who that hacker was. And so I said some shit. And then so Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Dave Diamond, who is part of the Grand Solar Minimum militia, he made a video and he said some things about me. There are a couple of insults in there. Although I thought it was funny and I liked it, you know. And he had good information in there, although I don't think past solar activity proves future solar activity. It's a very interesting conversation to have. It's okay to have multiple views on what is going to happen over the next 10 years with the sun. Anywho, like I could have then made a counter video that, just like he used video from from the video that I made, I could go back and use every single video he ever made and make a Super Thor News video trying to just show whatever mistakes he might have made or said, you know. But I chose not to really respond just because, dude, I don't want to fight with the truth community right now. Like, I don't want to fight with anyone. That I'm not here to escalate any conflicts. And that, so like, yes, I apologize for saying or implying that it was the Grand Solar Minimum crew, because I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know who it was. And I know that, like I said, one of the women I dated, her husband's in the N-fucking-S-fucking-A. And he's a Taurus. They hold grudges forever, for years, even if you didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying, I do have a lot of people who don't like me or still hold grudges against me. And then there are people in the QAnon shit that like the Q himself, like, so I don't, like, when I get attacked, I don't know who's doing it. It's one of the frustrating things about the hacking shit. And that's why, to me, it always feels so passive aggressive. Because as a man, if I have a conflict with somebody, you're going to know about it. I'm not going to fucking hide, or I'm not going to, like, from the shadows, or I'm not going to, like, build fake accounts to talk shit about people. If I have a problem with you, you're going to know about it. Usually I will address you off, like, without anyone around so we can solve it. Hey, so I'm not here to escalate conflicts. And I guess that's the point of the video. That if we had to have a thesis statement, especially that is like who I am, I'm not here to escalate conflicts. I do not make money off of escalating conflicts. I do not get good kisses off of escalating conflicts. I do not have good time. Like, it is not part of my MO. And that definitely, since 2012, we have had a large portion of the energy in the collective being used to continually escalate conflicts. But the crazy thing about all this, and it really works in with the astrology and the Joseph Campbell's 3-act structure, that just like in the astrology, the shit that starts on the 27th ends in 6 months, near the end of December. And so the Jupiter and Saturn align in the sky on December 21st, 2020. And so that will be exactly 8 years from the Mayan calendar date. Excuse me. And so that this, whatever that is, going to be one giant 8-year cycle. You know, like beginning, middle, and end to that whole 8-year, the giant, and I believe it was on the astrology thing, I believe it was like a Scorpio, like what is it, like Scorpion to Eagle to Phoenix. So like we are, you know, so we are at the very tail end of the Scorpio Phoenix, Scorpio Eagle Phoenix cycle. And that, so it only really kind of makes sense that the last 6 months, it's the war to end the 8-year Scorpio age of the 2000s. So that's cool. Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen, man? You know, another thing I highly recommend, I don't know if you ever read any X-Men. I recommend the Chris Claremont stuff. Brilliant. I recommend the Joss Whedon Astonishing X-Men stuff. Brilliant. A lot of great X-Men stuff has been written, but Phoenix has been a major character, and some people say she's the most powerful character in the entire Marvel universe. You could always have good debates about that, but I'm just saying it's so like now, and we've kind of been in the Dark Phoenix phase, and so it all makes sense. We've learned this together that the next 6 months, we're in like the final act of it's the very interesting part of the movie. You know, where all the big battles are happening. that's crazy. Yeah, I don't think the world's going to end on the... I think there's a better chance Selena Gomez will show up at my doorstep and say, hey, let's go get milkshakes and snow cones. We'll have to go to 2 different places. And I'll say, okay, cool. But if we have a good time, my apartment's small and disgusting. So hopefully you have a better place we can go hang out. Anyway, what's it saying? Oh, yeah. I think there's a better chance Selena Gomez will show up at my door and take me out on a date on the 21st, which is a Cancer full moon annular solar eclipse, ring of fire, than the world ending. I don't think the world is going to end on my watch. I don't think we're going to have a horrific billions of people die on my watch. I could be wrong. I could find myself in eternal hell because, you God would be like, you told people that billions would not die and then they died. And that would sound like a pretty bad deal. Anyway, but yeah, I still don't think, and I lead from a place that I don't think the world's going to end. But I do think it's going to get crazier over the next 6 months. And that somehow we got to keep it together. Because there are good people in every family, pretty much, as a metaphor for 7 billion people. And it takes 7 billion people to make this thing work. It's teamwork. It's how we built the cities. Wait, someone said time will end soon. See, this is the whole... Someone said time will end soon. One moment, please. Time will end soon. CERN is concerned for them. I got in a lot of trouble 3 years ago when I implied that there are multiple particle colliders on the planet. And I got in big trouble. Asterisk. Anyway, so if you were concerned about one CERN, let's say there are at least 100 CERNs, or 16, or at least 3. So at least multiply your concerns about CERN. What shan't we be concerned about other than God and Jesus? Where's a safe place that we can run to mentally? I would say boobs, but then they're like, some people get mad at me when they're like, you shouldn't glorify boobs. Though they comforted you when you were a baby and technically fed you and gave you warmth, safety, and joy, and as an adult male, they brought you feelings of safety, comfort, warmth, and joy, you should not glorify boobs, and especially not the nipper. Man, I miss boobs, dude. I don't know. And, you definitely know I've been talking too long if I'm talking about the boobs. And it's all like, you got your face in some boobs, you feel safe. And that's what brought it up. I was like, okay, where can we run to mentally for a safe spot? Yes, I know. People can say God. People can say Jesus. I say that as a God-loving, Jesus-loving Christian. All we are saying is give peace a chance. But it's weird how peace is such a trigger word. Like, people instantly associate peace with the devil. Like, only the devil wants peace. Even though Jesus Christ said the peacemakers, are the children of God. Okay, it's story time. I played football, was extremely handsome, and was like 195 pounds in almost perfect shape. And I was a sophomore in high school. And so in our high school, you had sophomores, juniors, and seniors, right? And so I'm a sophomore. But it was the first time like you get into the giant school. Like we only had the 3-level school, so it was my first year at the big school that had 3,000 students. And so, I don't know, it was probably 6 weeks into summer, like it was the next summer after the first year. And so, I believe, no, it was in the fall of my sophomore year. Anywho, I was friends with all the guys on the senior team. Most of them liked me and thought I was hilarious and a cool dude. I was 16, they were 18. And that I was friends with all the guys my age. We were really good friends. And all the guys I ran around with every day were mostly, actually, they were juniors or sophomores. Being funny is very advantageous. If you're funny in a school setting, then usually people are like, yeah, keep the funny dude around. Anywho, my friend, I dated cheerleaders with my best friend. One of my best friends, Shay, was dating a cheerleader. And one of the senior guys, she had his girlfriend. I should have named him. His girlfriend had started to date a senior at the same time she was still kind of seeing him. It was a sophomore, my friend. Anywho, so one night we're hanging out at like all the sophomores at a house party when someone's parents had left, and we're all drinking and hanging out, having a great time. And then like 10 cars roll into the cul-de-sac. Like all at once. Vroom, 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 vroom. All the cars like roll in. And all the seniors showed up. And they were there to fight my friend because he had said something to the other guy through her. And so a giant brawl was about to take place and between the sophomores and the seniors. And we would have got our head handed to us. And so when they got out, they were like, send out Lewison, who was me. And so like, we were scared shitless. And they were like, send out Lewison, which is me. And so I go out. And I talked him out of it. And so no fight happened. And they left. Although technically it then boiled down to, so my point of that story was that like, so that you had a conflict where the escalation had gotten to like peak escalation where either a giant fight was going to happen or it was going to be solved. And so in that case, even at 16 years of age, I prevented a big giant brawl. Although I was there when some brawls happened. That wouldn't. Like my town was so crazy, dude, that like when I was around the same age, like a sophomore, my high school's football team literally had like we're talking in the late 1988 to 1990, and so you didn't have cell phones and like guys fist fought like crazy all the time, at least in Texas. It was a different world. It was a cooler world, in my opinion. Anyway, one time the school from across town, all their tough guys, you're talking about not even football tough guys, but like tough guys who are just tough guys. Like they don't even play sports. They just beat people up all the time. So like 30 cars rolled into our beach spot where everyone would party at on weekend nights from 8 p.m. to cops kick us out. We'd have like 400 people there. Like 30 cars showed up. All the tough guys got out. They beat up everybody. There was a dude at the beach, except for me and my buddy Wade. Honestly, like just 30 cars roll in. Guys jumped out. They went out and beat up everybody. And for some reason, they didn't beat up me and my buddy. And then they rolled out. And then so like an hour later, our 20 tough guys who were seniors rolled in and was like, hey, I heard they came over and beat everybody up. We were like, it was true. And so then everyone rolled over there with our 20 tough guys. And then so like our group, although I wasn't in it, I was just an observer because I was young, they beat up everybody. That was one of the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. And it happened. And no one died. And it's still a great story. Oh, so I was thinking, hey, what's the funniest situation you've ever had? Like, what could you? So I want to tell another story time during the war zone. One of the best friends I've ever had, one of the funniest, smartest, coolest guys I've ever known. His code name is Jack Steele. His real name's Jeff. I may have told the story before, but one of the funniest times I had is when me and Jeff lived in Hollywood, and that we went to Las Vegas like once every 2 weeks when we lived in Hollywood. You know, for whatever reason, we ended up in Las Vegas. It's like every 2 weeks for a weekend. Those were good times. And we went, and there was this girl I was dating at the time, Jessica, and we had our other roommate, Brian, with me and Jeff. And so you would go and you would party until dawn, and then we would eat like a buffet in the morning. And so what happened was, at like 6 in the morning, 7 to 8, I don't know, sun was coming up, we partied so much that Jack literally fell asleep at the table with all of us eating, and then he passed out into his hash browns and eggs. So he literally like slumped down, like not as, so like this, like right with his face in his eggs in the hash browns. And so then I did what any good friend would do. I said, hey, let's leave our money for our food and then just get out of here and go hide behind the window and wait. And so they were like, great idea. And so we paid for the meal, just left the cash on the table, and then we left the restaurant, and then we went out by the bushes and then peered in the window. And like, like 2 minutes later, saw a waitress walk off and then looked down and was like, what? And then she went and got the manager. And so it was like the manager with 2 waitresses and a cook stood over him and then woke him up. It was like, sir, you can't sleep in our restaurant. You have to leave. And so like, when he lifted his head up, his face was covered in like egg and hash browns. And, it's like being woken up by your mom who's mad. It's never a good feeling. And so he got woken up by the manager. Oh, that moment makes me laugh every time I even think about it. 'Cause it was so funny. I mean, nobody died, and we had a great time. And although he technically isn't talking to me anymore. Forgive me, Jack. And he is a guy that, like, dude, I could or would go anywhere with him. Doesn't matter if we went to Baghdad or Mexico City, or he is a guy that if he's watching your six is protected. And he knows how to de-escalate situations extremely well if he's sober. Cheers to all the good people out there who know how to de-escalate situations. My imaginary beer. I guess I'll cheers to you with... What a crazy life. Cheers. It's been the weird thing about... It seems like our society has been punishment focused for like 10 years. We've been really punishment focused, where everybody has just been trying to point out the sinners and then punish them, or that spend a year saying we should punish them. Like the whole thing about one of the best triggered things I can say now is Hillary Clinton. That you've got at least 20 million Americans who'd be like, she should be in jail. She should be killed for treason. We know that bitch. And even if I list some of my crushes, you'll have people be like, oh, those are actually men and they work for the devil and they should all be punished. There's I think the only 3 people I can name, I would say Tom Hanks. But when he got coronavirus, you had 1 million people saying that Tom Hanks was some horrible deep state, evil Illuminati. And it's Tom Hanks, bro. I watched him from Bosom Buddies on. That if we have to live in a world where we're even going to throw unfounded shit on Tom Hanks, then we have a world without good guys and without heroes. And that's not the world I want to live in. But I'm just saying that for the last 10 years, we've been in a system to where punishment has reigned, to where like we're punishing all the sinners and we're all sinners. So we got to get over that shit because it's no fun. But I guess someone could say that technically, if there are really evil people, that they're probably not going to be like, you know what, Thor of Thor News, you are right. I should give up my evil ways and work with other people to bring about a harmonious society together. I guess the chances of them being converted through one or two of my videos is probably pretty low. So I'll need some divine intervention. But it's not all about me. You guys are going to help on that shit too, right? Let me love you. Let me love you. I don't know. At the end of the day, Justin Bieber seems like a decent guy. And I really, that's why I'm surprised. I'm going to take this war zone moment to talk about me. I'm really shocked. Part of the reason that I made super badass edited videos for 5 years is I thought at some point I would get to make like music videos and stuff. I thought that if I put in 100 hours of work on single videos and put out a bunch of amazing videos, that at some point somebody who had money and was talented would be like, hey, you know what? You're good enough to make a music video for me. I really thought that shit would happen. But it did not. Anyway, one of my points is that like, if in a world where I got to make music videos, I would have jumped at the chance to work with Justin Bieber. Now, granted, we'd have to write a song, or he would have to write a song that I could get into 1,000,000%. Because I wouldn't just do like any song if I didn't believe in it. If I didn't want to listen to that song 1,000,000 times, I wouldn't do it. Anyway, and so I've always wanted to make a music video with Justin Bieber and then have him play like a young Indiana Jones. Kind of like in the vein of River Phoenix when he did it. He was young Indiana Jones in one of the Indiana Jones movies. I believe it was Last Crusade. And so I would bet that if I made a music video where I got to spend like 300 hours in the video, if not 500, and made it in an Indiana Jones vein with all the digital capabilities we have today and the memes and shit, that my Justin Bieber Thor News Young Indiana Jones video would have been super. Anywho. Because collaborations, you can build really cool shit. But like I said, I'm surprised. Like, I don't, even all the, like Ariana Grande knows how to make some really cool videos. Taylor's very astute. She's a great, although, is it Joseph? Her director, he's really good. Anywho, this Warzone episode has been brought to you by 616-2020. Another thing while I'm just talking, to use the friend. Oh, and I'm not an insomniac. I slept from like 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. or noonish to 8 p.m. What I've been doing lately is I sleep when everyone is awake, and then I stay awake when everyone is asleep because I really believe I'm an empath. And so when everyone is awake during the day and everyone's angry and everyone's scared and everyone's stressed out, I can feel that shit. And so it is hard to stay in a good mood or even think all my own thoughts when everyone is stressing out. And so I kind of purposely stay awake. And it's if anything happens with hurricanes or earthquakes, volcanoes, world wars, if anything major happens, I'm on the night shift. Not everybody's on the night shift. So sometimes I just get into night shift planetary defense commander mode. And that's what I'm in now. And that's why you see that, like, I may release 3 videos at between midnight and 4 in the morning because I may still be awake from 8 in the morning to 2, but that energy is so crappy, it's hard for me to even, I mean, I can talk and make a video, but it just doesn't, it's not the same. You got to know your environment, and that it's a spiritual warfare, and that every day is weird. And the dreams that I've been having in 2020 are like next level, and it seems like I'm having a dream that I can remember when I wake up at least 4 out of 7 days every single week. So that's a lot to deal with. Because dreams are like really amazing movies that have no linear connection to your life on a conscious level. Meaning, like, if you get your hand chopped off in a dream, if you wake up, you don't lose your hand. So that you get a reset button after every dream. That's always very trippy to me. Oh, but I have been talking so long. There are new people here. The reason I started this video was because North Korea blew up a inter-Korean establishment 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago. China killed 3 people, 3 Indian soldiers at their border. 3 rockets went off in Baghdad. We lost an Air Force jet today with an Air Force pilot down and gone. And the DDoS attack on our telecommunications networks. And so, like I said, if I had beer and whiskey, I would be drinking both now, but I do not. But I am chain smoking. And I'm one of the guys that's here to help stabilize the situation. And I'm going to do what I can to escalate conflicts. But it's going to be wild. And some would say the odds are against us. But for like a week, I've been really optimistic in the weirdest ways. Huh? Sugar. Shock Shack. Shawshank Redemption. Okay, so now I should wrap it up with guitar play. But every once in a while, I put the guitar down. Yeah, please de-escalate any conflicts wherever you can. Let us use this solar eclipse to shed all grudges. Let's have an emotional and spiritual jubilee. And I thought of boobs when I sprayed the coconut mist on me. I'm sorry, Jesus. Oh. And then I imagined putting my face into that solar plexus so the boobs pressed up against both my cheeks. I'm sorry. feel like I'm just noodling. I need something meaty to sink my teeth into. And you guys deserve a new song. Well, tough shit. I have to survive. What word did Noodles use? It was escalate all conflicts. It wasn't groovy. It wasn't stay chewy. It wasn't, yeah, stay chewy, like Chewbacca. Stay chewy. Everything will get better. Things will be great. No more bad days. That is your fate. Hey, you guys are great. No way. And if I made any mistakes, it was probably because I was using a bass pick. Hold on. I'm going to give a moment to shout out to Jim Dunlap. Thank you, Mr. Dunlap. You made fine picks. Although, and then I'd like to give a shout out to Fender. Thank you, Mr. Fender. You made great picks. And I'd like to give a shout out to Yamaha. You too made great picks. And my other guitar on the wall that needs to be restrung is Squire. So thank you, Mr. Squire. You made a great guitar. I know I've talked about it many times. Yeah, it took a lot of people to create and make a guitar. It took thousands of years. These things are so amazing. These are one of the coolest works of architecture and engineering that humans have ever made. We made a guitar, man. So you have a choice. Like 2001. You can be the pre-human that uses the bone to dominate and control your other pre-humans, or you can be the pre-humans who evolve into humans and then beyond, that you can take the bone and make it a weapon, or you can take the tree and make a guitar. So 10,000 years later, back at the crossroads between a digital bone and weapon and a digital guitar, but that's real and analog, flesh and blood, I definitely recommend we choose the guitar over the bone dagger, or the bone mace. And I always get frustrated. I gotta get better at talking. I gotta get better at words I choose when I use them. But when I'm so much better guitar player when the button's not on. Even if it's not live, if I'm just recording it, that like whatever relaxation or waves I can tap into when I'm not recording are so much superior to the observational physics shit. I don't want no more war. So come along, ride with me, baby. We will see. God bless you. You are fantastic. I love you. I have faith in you. I believe in you. God is great. And we will make it through all of this shit in 2020. But you gotta stay cool and keep a good heart. And use your imagination to imagine a better future for not only you, your family, your friends, but all of us. All right. God bless everyone. And yeah, I learned a lot of this coolness from Jesus Christ, the superhero who sacrificed his life so we could all find a better world in the future. And apparently, we're going to do it together. That's exciting.